Street racing continues to be a problem in communities all across the West. Tonight, one suspected case turns tragic in Washington.
Heartbreaking, and it's scary for everyone else who thinks that it's okay to speed and drive so fast, because your life can instantly hit just like that.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. 2 people are dead tonight after a suspected street racer triggered a fiery crash near Seattle. Witnesses believe the driver here was going over 100 miles per hour when they blew right through a red light. Fox 13's AJ Janavel begins tonight's coverage of the street racing problem across the West with details from the scene of that crash.
I spoke to one young woman who tells me this driver tried to get her to race. A few moments later, she drove up the street and saw the deadly car crash.
I was just in shock. I didn't know what to do. I just witnessed, 2 people's lives just gone like that.
An unforgettable nightmare for Serena Larashumsky as she tried to make her way home early Wednesday morning.
Seeing the SUV caught on fire, we didn't know who was in there. Seeing the BMW, we tried to help. There was no way we could help after the flames started going.
She tells me moments before, the BMW driver, who investigators say caused the crash, tried to get her to race.
He was just revving his engine over and over, and then as I accelerated, he stopped. He didn't move at all, and then accelerated like extreme high speed, and going probably like 130, 120 down. I seen him starting to lose control a little bit, and I was like, something's bad's gonna happen. 2
people killed due to speeding. Sergeant Darren Moss tells me it's the deadliest factor on Pierce County roads.
That's not how it used to be. It used to be DUI was #1 and speed was at the bottom, and it's just reversed.
Moss says this is the 3rd deadly crash on Canyon Road just this year, and the 9th deadly crash for the entire county. Tragically, it's only continuing a morbid trend. Numbers I obtained show Pierce County has seen deadly crashes jump since 2020. Moss tells me a new law gives deputies an edge to go after dangerous street racers on county roads.
Any kind of reckless driving, we can tow your vehicle and it's held for 72 hours. And on a second offense, your vehicle can be forfeited.
Serena tells me no quick adrenaline fix from revving your engine is worth this fate.
It's heartbreaking, and it's scary for everyone else who thinks that it's okay to speed and drive so fast, because your life can instantly hit just like that.
Investigators have not released any information on the identities of the 2 victims. We have reached out to the medical examiner's office to get more information. The minute we do, we'll keep you up to date. Reporting here in Pierce County, I'm AJ Janavel, Fox 13 News.
In Las Vegas, many neighbors say street racing is just out of control.
I had a gun pulled on. I really thought I was going to die right there. I thought he was going to shoot me.
A man who lives in the Summerlin area describes the terrifying experience when he tried getting video of street racers in his neighborhood. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department wants residents to report street racing activity as soon as they see it.
I believe people are actively racing and someone may be injured, call 911, and that'll get us a quicker response. We'd love for you to share that with us and give us more intelligence and information so that we can tackle this problem with you.
The police department says it's received only 5 calls about street racing. Researchers with Insurify.com tracked the problem of street racing in 2023. 3 West Coast states made their list of states with the most street racers in the country. Wyoming was number 2, Montana took the number 4 spot, and Utah ranked 5th. Researchers compiled the list using data from more than 4 million car insurance applications. Today, the Arizona Supreme Court issued a key ruling on the official language of a November ballot measure on abortion. Voters will decide whether to codify abortion rights in the state's constitution. The court sided with Republican lawmakers allowing a voter pamphlet to refer to a fetus or embryo as an unborn human being. Backers of the ballot measure criticized the ruling, arguing voters will be subject to politically charged language. The Arizona Supreme Court also ruled an immigration enforcement measure can remain on the November ballot. Proposition 314 would allow local police to arrest anyone who can't prove U.S. citizenship. Several groups, including the ACLU, tried to remove the measure, saying it violated the state constitution. Similar measures in Texas and other states have failed. Democratic vice presidential candidate Tim Walz campaigned in Colorado today. He was in Denver for a campaign reception. Images posted to X show him taking photos with supporters during the visit. Walz is expected to attend a fundraiser tonight in Boston. And tomorrow, the top of the Democratic ticket will join President Biden for their first public appearance since Biden ended his candidacy. The White House says Vice President Kamala Harris and the president will be heading to Maryland for an event that's focused on lowering costs for Americans. Former President Trump made a campaign stop in Asheville, North Carolina today. He took jabs at his opponent while pushing his message about the future of the economy.
Everything Kamala Harris touches turns bad. It all turns bad. San Francisco was a great city. Now it's unlivable. California was a great state. Now it's unlivable. She breaks everything just like she broke the border, broke our economy. But soon we are going to fix every single problem Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have created.
New national polls show a tight race in the Tar Heel state with Vice President Kamala Harris trending upward. The former president's running mate, J.D. Vance, also focused on the economy during a campaign stop in Michigan today. He promised voters Republican leadership in the White House would help ease the financial pressure families are feeling across the country.
We're going to get American energy from American workers and American territory. We are going to drill, baby, drill. That's going to cut down prices, and that's going to create a lot of prosperity for the American people.
The GOP ticket has a couple more events planned for this week. Former President Trump plans to hold a news conference tomorrow, and he'll hold a rally in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, coming up on Saturday. Testimony began today in the murder trial of a former Las Vegas politician. Robert Tellez is a former Clark County public administrator who's accused of killing an investigative journalist, Jeff Gehrman, in 2022. Three of Gehrman's neighbors took the stand today and talked about finding his body in his front yard. Several members of the Las Vegas Police Department also took the stand. This trial is expected to last 2 weeks. Convicted murderer Scott Peterson and his wife Lacey are the subject of two new documentary series. A true crime series titled American Murder, Lacey Peterson features interviews with Lacey's mother, Sharon Rocha, and Peterson's former mistress, Amber Fry. That show debuted on Netflix today. Another three-part series titled Face to Face with Scott Peterson will begin streaming on Peacock on August 20th. In that, Peterson admits to cheating on Lacey. Peterson right now is in the middle of a bid to win a new trial with help from the Innocence Project. Two NASA astronauts stuck on the International Space Station still don't know when they'll return to Earth. Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams have been on the station since June. Initially, they were on an 8-day mission. They launched on Boeing's Starliner back in June. It sprang a helium leak before liftoff, and more leaks erupted on its way to the space station. Now, NASA says it will decide in the next couple of weeks whether to bring the astronauts home on Starliner or with the crew on the next SpaceX mission, which would keep Williams and Wilmore on the ISS until February.
It looks like glass.
But I don't think it's glass.
I don't think it's glass either.
It's a road trip an Arizona father and son will never forget. Coming up tonight on West Coast Wrap, how they found a 2-carat diamond. Also, a skydiving adventure over Washington today is just not enough for one 85-year-old. We'll explain why she's hoping to take nearly 300 more jumps like this one in the near future.
And in weather, here's our live camera this evening in Phoenix. A current temperature of 105 degrees. We'll have the updated forecast coming up.
I went to a place full of people who are working to make their roads safer, to make their air cleaner, and to keep their lakes safe.
Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg took his summer of construction tour to Lake Tahoe today. His stop at the Lake Tahoe Summit was part of an effort to showcase how the Biden administration's infrastructure bill is affecting the country. The theme of this year's summit, Connecting Tahoe, investing in transit, trails, and technology for the future. Yesterday, Secretary Buttigieg visited Reno to mark the beginning of the Arlington Avenue Bridge Replacement Project. Two bridges being replaced in downtown Reno are said to be around 100 years old. Buttigieg says the Biden administration is helping get projects like these going.
Look, past presidents talked a lot about funding infrastructure, but it was just talk. That changed in 2021. We set out to change that from day one of the Biden-Harris administration. And since the passage of this law, over 60,000 infrastructure projects have now begun moving forward. We're proud of that work.
It's expected to take several years to complete construction of those new bridges in Reno. Inflation has fallen to a 3-year low, setting up the likelihood of an interest rate cut by the Federal Reserve next month. Consumer prices were up 2.9% compared to a year earlier. That's the smallest increase since March of 2021. And core inflation for the month, excluding food and energy prices, was flat. All of the readings were cooler than expected, and analysts say easing inflation is just what economists are hoping for.
We're talking over 3 years, the first time that inflation, CPI, has gone below 3%. So for me, that's a big deal.
This latest report on inflation has most Wall Street analysts expecting to see an interest rate cut from the Fed at its meeting next month, with some saying the Fed could lower its key rate by a half point. Those predictions already having an impact.
Already being priced in, like, you see the car commercials and we're back to like, I saw a 2.9, APR, right? Whereas everything before it was like, they weren't even advertising it because it was like 7 or 8%, right? So you're already seeing this happening because they know what the Federal Reserve Fed's going to do.
Prices at the store still are going up, but more slowly now. The cost of food rose 0.2% in July. Groceries were up 0.1%. Stocks were higher today on that inflation report. The Dow was up 242 points. The Nasdaq added 4 points, and the S&P gained 20 points. Tomorrow, traders will get some more data to chew on when the July retail spending numbers come out. Hops growers in Oregon say they're hurting because beer drinkers are changing their habits. Fox 12's Carly Olson spoke to growers who say they're being forced to alter the way they operate.
Absolutely. I think COVID changed people's habits in a lot of ways.
Shiny new vats and rows of kegs already on the shelves. It's a brand new operation for Von Ebert Brewing in the Mississippi neighborhood, and business is booming despite the challenges that have faced many breweries in recent years.
I think several years ago it was a lot more on-premise, restaurant, people going out to dinner and, drinking in bars, and things have really shifted to more of a grocery store-centric sales at this point. We were originally like a, restaurant and pub that happened to have a brewery, and now we're a brewery that has some tap rooms and pubs around Portland.
The slow decline in restaurant sales has caused a challenge as breweries adapt to different marketing techniques.
We had an acreage decrease last crop year and then one this year.
The lack of demand means hops farmers have to be the first to cut corners, with hops acreage in the state decreasing by 12% in 2023 and 18% this year. As things stand, the product surplus is significant.
We have about 185 million pounds, which is about a year's worth of hops in storage. So this acreage adjustment is trying to stabilize the market so that we don't continue to add to that number.
The fix will take time as farmers struggle to downsize and depend on other crops for their main sources of income. Michelle Palacios with the Oregon Hop Commission says it's been a nationwide issue, and if people want to lend a helping hand,
if you are choosing an adult beverage, that you consider beer and consider a hoppy beer. When they choose Oregon beer, they're also choosing Oregon ag, and they're choosing Oregon hop farmers.
Carly Olson, Fox 12 Oregon.
Turning now to our weather here in parts of northern Utah, drying out today. Storms hit that region late yesterday afternoon, causing flash flooding in Orem outside of Provo. Some water seeped into the basements of homes in this area, and the heavy rain also created pools at the Orem skate park. Take a look at this. The city's police department posted these photos online showing the skaters ditching their boards and diving in. Parts of Utah could see more rain potentially today. For more, let's bring in KTVU meteorologist Mark Tamayo, who is tracking the threat from those summer storms. Mark, how do we look?
Hi there, Alex. Yeah, in fact, this was the satellite and the radar yesterday showing you probably linked up with those thunderstorms that had moved into portions of Utah. So, yeah, this was actually last night, though. But as you can see here, those cells moving out. And throughout the day today, the main action actually moving out to the east, moving out into Colorado. As you can check out here, though, we have fairly quiet conditions across the west from Seattle down toward the Bay Area, down toward Los Angeles and in Phoenix. Now, we are watching out for this threat in portions of Oregon. A red flag fire warning linked up to potential some lightning that could show up here. So fire danger will be on the increase for tonight and into your Thursday. This was Seattle today, a sun-cloud mix. Temperatures in the upper 70s, 77 degrees. In the San Francisco Bay Area, this was downtown San Francisco. Some patchy fog you can see showing up in this picture here. Temperature 65 degrees, and then in Southern California, a bit of some haze out there. Los Angeles topping out in the warm 80s, 87 degrees this afternoon. Current numbers out there right now, it is 100 degrees in Las Vegas, Reno, 81 degrees. Portland, Oregon in the upper 70s, checking in 79. And here is the overall weather story for tomorrow. We are expecting clearing skies in Seattle for tomorrow. Some cloud cover, though, in the morning. Sunny and warm out toward Denver and then out toward Southern California. Still some 80s. This area of high pressure keeping things warm, as you would expect, especially out toward Phoenix with temperatures well up above 100 degrees. Here is the forecast model. We talked about that thunderstorm threat. You can see it showing up here nicely in portions of eastern Oregon here, and then out toward the Rockies, out toward Denver. There's a possibility of some showers mainly later in the day, late in the afternoon and into the evening hours. This is Phoenix, another day going up above 100 degrees, 108, 109 degrees by about 3 or 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And some more neighborhoods up and down the west coast. For Olympia, you can see 74 degrees, San Jose 83, Palmdale and Santa Clarita close to 100 degrees, and Scottsdale heating up to 110 degrees in the Thursday forecast. So here's the plan over the next few days. Now, Seattle, there's going to be a system that could move in that could bring in some shower, maybe some thunderstorm chances, not for tomorrow, but by the weekend for both Saturday and into a Sunday. In San Francisco, a little bit of some cooling to start off the weekend. Lots of 80s for Los Angeles and another string of triple digits, kind of the constant in the forecast this time of year in Phoenix, 110, 112, 110 degrees. So still some heat in the desert, tracking to maybe some showers, making a comeback, almost a fall pattern developing up in the Pacific Northwest as we head into the weekend.
All right, interesting. Mark, thank you. One Arizona family is celebrating a rare find tonight. Fox 10's Steve Nielsen shows us how a father and son discovered a diamond during a road trip.
You can sense the excitement.
But it looks like glass.
Yeah. But I don't think it's glass.
I don't think it's glass either.
That's Marshall and his dad Will's holding the camera in Arkansas's Crater of Diamonds State Park, a unique place where anyone can go and dig for diamonds.
And I scraped my bucket off the top, and Marshall's digging for China, man. He's going as deep as he can. So we carry both of our buckets up to the wash center.
The Arizonans love sifting dirt for treasure, but this dirt seemed different.
Flip it over, and I look for maybe 10 seconds, and I go, "Hey, Marshall, you should come take a look. I think there might be a diamond in this screen." Not knowing for sure, but it definitely looks different than anything we've seen.
So they took the shiny rock up to the Diamond Identification Center.
Seeing if it's a diamond.
Seeing if it's a diamond.
Nothing tops a diamond. Will grew up out there. His uncle was an Arkansas State Park employee, so the road trip made sense. Now, the real test.
And the volunteer picks up and looks at it. He turns around to the guy behind him.
That seems good, right?
And they finally call us back, and the park superintendent let us know that it was a 2.03 carat Arkansas diamond, second largest found in the park that year.
That's over 2 carat.
Yeah.
Will showed it to us, and the proof it's real.
We're talking like 0.0002% chance of finding one that big. So definitely, we played the lottery on the way home that day too.
A father and son bonding experience as rare as the diamond they found.
There's beauty to be found as long as you're open-minded enough to find it, and doing that, showing that to my son through these kind of trips, more meaningful than I can put into words.
An unforgettable memory for the two of them. That was Fox 10's Steve Nielsen reporting tonight. More than 35,000 diamonds have been found at Arkansas's Crater of Diamonds since the area became a state park back in 1972. Up next tonight here on West Coast Wrap, a thrilling jump for an 85-year-old woman from Washington, and she's not stopping there. How many more skydiving trips she's planning to take in the near future? Also, the Olympics this year, inspiring more children to start competing. We'll show you how gyms in Arizona are working to keep up with the next generation of athletes.
I got chills when I came down the escalator. I'm like, it's happening.
A special experience for people traveling through Portland today as they made their way through the new main terminal at the Portland International Airport. It debuted today, and it features new restaurants and shops even before you get to security. Developers also managed to keep some of the old terminal's charm, like its green carpet. Coaches all across the West are seeing how this year's U.S. gymnastics teams are inspiring future athletes. Fox 10's Danielle Miller shows us how the sport is keeping gyms busy in Arizona on the heels of this year's Olympic Games in Paris.
With gymnastics typically being one of the most watched events in the Olympics, there's a lot of eyes on the sport. And although the Olympic torch has been extinguished, the excitement around the event continues. Here at Arizona Sunrays Gymnastics in Phoenix, many are coming here inspired to try the sport.
Oh, it's such a cool thing. The Olympics is an opportunity for everybody to get exposure to gymnastics. And with all that exposure, kids have an interest. They're dancing around their living rooms. They're performing routines at home. And so we get a lot of interest here.
Co-owner Kenzie Gassaway says they always see a boost in registrations after the Olympic cycle. She says this is typically seen nationwide.
It's definitely all ages. So we see anywhere from a 2-year-old who wants to come all the way to, a 14-year-old who's like, wow, that looks really cool, and I want to see where this can take me in life.
And for those out there beginning their Olympic dream, she says start slow and work your way up.
We would suggest maybe starting in our tumbling class. We have elements of cheerleading that are ingrained in that class, but we want to get kids with their age group so that they feel most comfortable.
Although no beginner, level 10 gymnast Julia Honig says the Olympics always give her a boost.
I definitely love watching it. It's very inspiring to all of us young athletes. It gives me a kick and makes me want to work harder and try to get higher.
There are 3 Valley Arizona Sunrays Gymnastics locations to help you go for gold. Danielle Miller, Fox 10 News.
And finally tonight, an 85-year-old great-grandmother has a habit she just can't break. That is Kim Noor. She's been traveling all across the country in pursuit of her skydiving dream. Her most recent jump was at Skydive Snohomish in Washington, and she's on a quest to complete 1,000 skydives and earn her gold wings from the United States Parachute Association. Her love of the sport is clear.
Woohoo! We're up in the sky. I love it. I can fly in the sky. I love to be up there. I'm trying to figure out a way to hook on a cloud and stay there for a little bit.
I love it. She started jumping at the age of 20, and she won a gold medal with the women's parachute team back in 1962. She's now completed 726 jumps, and she's hoping to reach 1,000 by 2026. Have a great night.